of people's, but I am glad that you enjoyed it. Okay, next up, conversation. You had the Attack of the Star Wives, the Star Wives Attack of the Idiots, I should say. A great episode. I really liked their take on episode 2. Certainly, I am made no secret that I am not a fan of episode 2. So I liked hearing Bernadette and Kelly's take on that. And I'll probably clip this out as a separate video for them, just so they don't have to go through all this other nerd stuff to get to it. But I wanted to take the answer to their question seriously. And I wanted to let them know, I'm sorry, I was under the weather. I hadn't been able to record a video. I didn't have a voice for a while there. But I have been giving lots of thoughts to their question of, on the light side, who is the best fighter? Because, we don't... Yoda failed. So who is the best fighter for Palpatine? And, if you were to ask nerds like your husbands, they would probably tell you something like Anakin. He's the chosen one. But, well, is he the light side? Or is he, because, people would go, oh, Obi-Wan, or there's all these different ones. And then, of course, all these different ones. But I thought, how would Bernadette and Kelly view it? That was my thought. I was like, how can I rationalize it with their thing? And so why do they look at Yoda as such a failure? Well, he didn't recognize the threat of the Palpatine. He didn't realize what was going on with Anakin. However, there is another Jedi Master who your husbands don't like. Well, I shouldn't say that. But they would like to point out that he was not a very good Jedi, that he was kind of a jerk. And that would be Mace Windu. And so I think from your perspective, Mace Windu, Samuel L. Jackson, he pointed out right from the get-go that it was a bad idea to train Anakin. He also didn't think the Emperor... He thought that Palpatine was up to stuff. And he wanted to motivate him to be spied on by Anakin. He realized that something was going on there, that he wasn't... some of his moves were questionable. And when they go to confront Palpatine, you see the other Jedi there, they're almost like they're not there. Like, they just get cut down and thrown out like they're nothing. Mace Windu, however, he's getting the upper hand. Now, there is some debate about whether or not Palpatine was playing with him to try to turn Anakin. But needless to say, he didn't go down in seconds like the other Jedi. He held his own. And at that point, out of all the Jedi, he's the one that actually had some common sense. It's like, hey, this stuff doesn't smell right. This is not going down right. And he's also one considered... under Yoda, the best fighter of the bunch. So, by kind of like canon. So, from that point of view, I really think that, the equal or opponent on the good side is Mace Windu. So I hope that answers your question. And I think you'll see as you get into Revenge of the Sith, you'll see that. You'll see that he takes the action against Palpatine. And it really shows that, like, from the beginning, he's had a very different take than the rest of the group there. And if everyone had listened to him, well, yes, everyone says, well, he's the jerk. He's the one that didn't, but he was also right. So if everybody listened to him, if they didn't train Anakin, if they started suspecting Palpatine sooner, some of this could have been avoided. So I think for the Star Wives, they're gonna appreciate that he's a misunderstood character. Anyways, hope that answers your question. And if you have any other questions for me, I'd be happy to answer them. Once again, appreciate you. You always get excited, especially you recently had a podcast that you did with Roe, and that was a true joy. So, talking about some Star Trek. And so it was really cool to find out that you're big Star Trek. And I think they kind of oversold those beds, those medical beds that we have nowadays. They may give readouts, but they're not magical like the ones in Star Trek. But right there, McCoy, he all he had to do was wave a salt shaker over people. That's what he was doing. He was waving a salt shaker. So, I'm looking forward to that technology when our common salt shakers can start being medical devices. So, all right, I will catch you in the next time you're on the podcast. Looking forward to it. All right.